Hi, my name is Patrick Reagan. Welcome to Windows Tools, Part 8, Managing Local Users and Groups. During this video, we will look at local users and groups used in Windows 11 and how to create these local users and groups. As always, stick around for the practice questions at the end to test your knowledge and help you prepare for the A+ exam. If you find this video helpful, don't forget to click the like button, and if you have not already, subscribe to the Pat Hatcherback channel for more tech training content and technical know-how. A user account is an account that represents a user, and it enables the user to log onto a computer and domain. It can be used to prove the entity of the user through authentication, which can then be used to determine what a user can access and what kind of access a user will have via authorization. It can be used for auditing, which is accounting, so that if there's a security problem where something was accessed or deleted, it can be shown who accessed or deleted the object. On today's Windows network, there are two types of user accounts based on scope: the local user account and the domain user account. Computers on a network can be part of a workgroup or a domain. For workgroup, all computers are peers. Each computer has its own security database and a set of user accounts. To log on to a computer in the workgroup, you must have an account on that computer. A workgroup is usually used on small networks with less than 20 computers. The disadvantages are computer accounts will have to be created on every computer. If you use the same account on multiple computers, every time you change password, you'll have to change passwords on all computers. A local user account allows user to log on and gain access to the computer where the account was created. The local user account is stored in the Security Account Manager or SAM database on the local computer. Each computer has its own SAM database. The only Windows computer that does not have a SAM database is the domain controller. Other Windows servers, domain and non-domain, have a SAM database. If you want to use the same account on multiple computers, you'll have to create a user account with the same username and password on each computer. This allows the user to connect to remote computers that have the same account and access resources, including shared folders and printers. User 1 account with the same password can log into Computer 1, Computer 2, and Computer 4. While logged on to Computer 1 and access resources on Computer 2 and Computer 4 without performing another login. User 1 will not be able to log on to Computer 3 or access its resources without logging in with another username, such as Administrator, User 4, or User 5, and the respective password. If you use the same username but has a different password, you will be prompted to log in with the user account and password. In Windows 10 and 11, for home installations, the administrator account, literally called administrator, is created but is disabled by default. An enabled administrator account is created based on the account you specified during installation. For domain computers, an administrator local user account is the only account that is created and enabled by default in Windows. While an administrator local user account cannot be deleted, it can be renamed. The only other account created by default is the guest account. It was created for an occasional user who needs access to network resources on a low security network. It is recommended not to use the guest account and is disabled by default. To create an account using computer management, first open Computer Management. Then expand Local Users and Groups and click Users. Right-click Users folder and click New User. If you want the user to be an administrator, add user to the administrators group. You can also use computer management to change password. On Windows Pro, Enterprise, and Education, you can execute lusrmgr.msc to open local users and groups snap-in. To create an account in Windows Settings, first open Settings. Click Accounts and click Family and Other Users. To create the account, click the Add Account button. To create a local account, select Add a user without a Microsoft account. The standard user adds the user to the users group. By selecting administrator's account type, you're adding the user to administrator's group. Other ways to create a user accounts include executing the netplwiz command in the Start menu search field, as shown on the screenshot on the right. Or you can use the net user command as shown on the screenshot below. You can also create a new user with the Windows PowerShell using the new local user command. A group is a collection or list of user accounts or computer accounts. The group does not store the user or computer, it just lists them. The advantage of using groups is to simplify administration, especially when assigning rights and permissions. You add multiple user or computer groups to the group. You assign the group to an object such as a file or folder. All users in the group will get access to the object such as the file and folder. If you assign the group to multiple files and folders, by adding a user to the group, the user will get access to all specified files and folders assigned to the group. By default, there are multiple groups. Groups used most are the Administrators Group, which grants complete and unrestricted access to the computer. Users Group allows users to run most applications and log on directly on the computer. Remote desktop users can log on remotely using Remote Desktop. Event Log Reader allows users to read the event viewer logs. The Backup Operator can perform backups on the system, although they may not have permissions to a file or folder. Power Users is a leftover group that was made obsolete since Windows Vista and does not have any additional rights or permissions than a standard user. Two hidden built-in groups that don't show in console and have automatic membership are Authenticated Users, which encompasses all users who have logged in with the username and password, and Everyone, which encompasses all users who have logged in with a password, as well as built-in, non-password protected accounts such as Guest and Local Service. To add a group in Computer Management, right-click the Groups node and click New Group. Specify the name of the group, and then click Add button to add users. You can add users after the group is created by one of the following methods. Opening the group properties and click the Add button, which allows you to add one or more users, or by opening a user's property and adding the group to the Member Of tab. If the computer is part of a domain, you can add domain users and groups to a local group by specifying the domain scope for the location. To delete a user or group, right-click the user and group and click Delete. To remove a user from settings, click the Remove button. When the computer is not part of the domain, you can click the user that you want to log on to and provide the password. When the computer is part of a domain, you can specify // and then the username. The // will specify a local user account instead of a domain admin account. You can also specify the computer name /username when logging in. When the user logs onto the computer for the first time, a profile folder will be created for the user in the C:\users folder. People with admin access should consider using two separate accounts. A daily user account, which you would use this account for normal activity, including surfing the internet and accessing emails. The administrator user account would be for administrative activities. When you need to perform administrative functions, you should use the Run As options. To open a command prompt as an administrator, search for the command prompt, right-click Command Prompt, and click Run As Administrator. When running commands at the command prompt, you can use the Run As command. Anytime you try to run something as an administrator and you're not logged in as an administrator, you will be prompted to log in with an account that has administrative access. To open Computer Management, search for Computer Management, right-click Computer Management, and click Run As Administrator. You can right-click any executable file and run as administrator. Be careful that you verify that the executable file is a trusted executable file. Executable files from reputable vendors will often be digitally signed to prove who they came from and that they have not been tampered. To see if executable files are signed, open File Properties and look for the Digital Signature tab. User Account Control, or UAC, is a Windows security feature designed to protect the operating system from unauthorized changes. When changes to the system require administrative level permission, UAC notifies the user, giving the opportunity to approve or deny the change. UAC improves the security of Windows devices by limiting the access that malicious code has to execute with administrative privileges, and it empowers users to make informed decisions about actions that may affect the stability and security of their device. When a user tries to perform an action that requires administrative privileges, UAC triggers the consent prompt. If you're not an administrator, it will prompt you to log in as administrator. The prompt notifies the user that a change is about to occur, asking for their permission to proceed. The user approves the change, the action is performed with the highest available privilege. If the user doesn't approve the change, the action isn't performed, and the application they requested, the change is prevented from running. If you're installing software from a trusted and verified source, you can approve the changes because you're expecting that the ask you are performing requires administrative consent. However, if you're just using your computer normally, such as checking email, surfing the internet, or running your applications that don't require administrative access, and you get prompted, you should deny the changes since your current task does not require administrative access. Note, when asked for credentials, you'll not be able to cut and copy passwords into a UAC prompt, and any keyloggers that may capture passwords will not be able to access the UAC prompt. Windows 11 allows only one active user logged into a computer. Switching users in Windows 11 using fast user switching allows you to move to another account without closing apps, saving work, or logging off. Your current session remains active in the background, including downloads and file transfers, allowing another user to sign in, use their own workspace, and switch back to your active session later. To switch users on Windows 11 without signing out, open the Start menu, click your profile picture, and select the other user. Alternatively, press Ctrl-Alt-Delete and select Switch User, or use Alt plus F4 on the desktop to choose Switch User. Question: local user accounts are found in what? Answer: SAM. Question: what is the account that has unrestricted access to everything on a local computer? Answer: administrator. Question: which of the following would most likely be used in a small office environment? Answer: workgroup. Question: you're setting up a Windows computer for a new user. Corporate policy requires at least privileged environment. The user will need to access advanced features and configuration settings for several applications. Which of the following best describes the account access level the user will need? Answer: standard account. Question: you need to add an individual as a local administrator on a Windows Home PC. Which of the following utilities would the technician most likely use? Answer: settings, accounts, family, and other users. Question: what is used in Windows to ensure users are prompted or warned when an installation takes place in Windows? Answer: UAC. For more information, refer to these sites. In summary, a user account is an account that represents a user and enables a user to log on to a computer and domain. A local user account allows users to log on and access resources to the computer where the account was created. A group is a collection or list of user accounts or computer accounts. The advantage of using groups is to simplify administration, especially when assigning rights and permissions. Administrators groups grants complete and unrestricted access on the computer. Users group allows users to run most applications and log on directly on the computer. Authenticated users encompasses all users who have logged in with a username and a password. Everyone encompasses all users who have logged in with a password, as well as built-in non-password protected accounts such as guest and local service. User Account Control, or UAC, is a Windows security feature designed to protect the operating system from unauthorized changes. Thank you for watching this video. The next video will be Windows Tools, Part 9, using Microsoft accounts with Windows. If you like this video, click the like button, and if you have not already, subscribe to the Pat Hedger Back channel. Thank you.